Be like, hey.
Oh man, did you see that?
Yeah. There you go.
There he is. On the whopper flopper, man. That's
So
a
you
nice
got,
fish.
hey everybody, it's Jay Ball, Blue Jays Outdoors. Hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I'm pretty excited about this video. Actually, this video is going to be all about prop baits, topwater prop baits, and my setup, and when and where and why and how I use these. And then also I want to talk about a couple of the different manufacturers and some of the pros and cons of each one of these baits. So stay tuned, guys, because you're not going to want to miss this episode. Grass. I don't know if you saw it, but this 75 bone whopper popper, this bass pushed this thing up into the grass. He is covered, but check out the size of this one. That's a nice fish. Doesn't want to hook me. There, look at that one, guys. On a bone whopper plopper in the middle of the afternoon in the reeds. Sometimes you just gotta switch it up. Frog bite's been a little bit slow, a little bit here, but you're gonna get a picture of this fish, guys. This is a nice one. So good quality, healthy, late summer. Again, it's hot, guys. It's probably close to 80 degrees later in the afternoon, but topwater bite is still on fire. All right, so there's still a lot of people out there at Bass Fish that haven't really incorporated prop style baits, these big prop style baits, into their topwater strategy. And guys, I got to give a big shout out to Alex Rudd from Alex Rudd Fishing, because he was the one that really turned me on to fishing these prop style baits, and they are very effective. Actually, they draw some big bites. You don't catch a ton, especially on the bigger sizes, but they do draw some really big bites. Some of the biggest bass I've caught over my last 3 or 4 years have been on these prop style baits. But before we get into the different types of baits and the different colors I use, I want to talk about my setup, my rod, my reel, and my line, because I've been going through a couple different iterations of line, trying to find that perfect combination, and then also with the rod and reel. But this is an Abu Garcia. This is a, I think, 7'6" medium heavy setup with a decent reel. It's a 7.1-to-1 gear ratio Abu Garcia reel. And the line that I use, and again, I've had to kind of figure this out. Alex Rudd turned me on to a couple different ideas, but this is actually the 20-pound pink camel braid from Beyond Braid. I'll leave a link to the, I've got a discount code for that, so if you guys want to purchase something that helps out the channel. But here's the pink braid that I use. And what I've done is I've actually got this tied on to, I think, a 15 or 17 pound fluorocarbon leader. I've got about a 4-foot leader. And then one big tip and trick that you guys have got to incorporate in your topwater prop baits is these things are prone to spin when they get the grass hung up in them, and they add a lot of twist to your lines, to your line. So what I do is I actually put a barrel swivel. Hopefully you guys can see that. I use a barrel swivel for the connection, and what I do is I have a pair of split ring pliers that I use, and I actually change the bait off by just taking the split ring and taking it off of the barrel swivel, and then that's how I change my lures out, because all these lures do come with a split ring on them. But again, I use this barrel swivel to help keep the line twist out of the line. So that's probably one of the biggest tips and tricks I can give you, besides using 20-pound braid and about 15 to 17 pound fluorocarbon, is making sure that you use a barrel swivel on these lures, because they will spin when you get grass in them and they just twist your line up. So that's just a real quick kind of breakdown of my setup. And the different types of prop baits, there's 3 different manufacturers that I've used. And this is actually the pink 120 Chapo from Berkley. And I really like this lure. I'm going to talk about some benefits to this lure. So this is one that I just started using this year. But I've been a really big fan of River to Sea, the Whopper Plopper. This is my go-to color, is the bone color. But then also too, there is this Googan Squad. I forget the name of this lure now. I just had it. I'll think of it. It'll come to me while we're talking about it. But this is the Googan Squad topwater one that Dylan Gruff from Extreme Outdoorsman gave me, and I'll leave a link to some of the videos of these catches, of these fish catches that we've had. There's a couple other different manufacturers, but these are the 3 manufacturers and the 3 different styles of baits that I use. And you guys saw that there's a whole bunch of different sizes. You know, you've got your 75 size. So here's the 75 size from River to Sea, and this is the bone color, and then this custom pink one that Eli from EA Bait Company painted up for me. And then you've also got, you know, some black. This is the loon color from River to Sea. And then you've got this perch color, which is another really good color. And this is the 130. Okay, so this is the 130 size. And then this is the 90 size. So you can see there's quite a bit of difference in the size. And then here's the 75 as a comparison. But then there's the big 190. Haven't caught any fish on the 190 yet, but it is a pretty big bait, obviously. But my favorite color, because there's a ton of different colors out there. You guys know I'm a huge fan of anything pink. That's why I picked up the Berkley Chapo in the pink color. But really, if you're looking at getting into prop style baits, there's just two main colors you need to have. Okay, let's keep it really, really simple. Some sort of bone color and some sort of black color, right? These two colors, I mean, I throw the bone all the time. I don't rarely ever take the bone color off. But if you're fishing at night or you get a little bit different water conditions, sometimes the black is a good color. But the bone, guys, this is an absolute killer tool or killer color. If you guys fish a lot of river fish, like smallmouth and largemouth and river systems, I'll tag the video that Dylan Grubb and I made for fishing for smallmouth bass and largemouth bass in the Grand River. But guys, this number 75 bone color is an absolute killer if you fish a lot of rivers. Fish this on light spinning tackle if you want. But so those are the kind of colors, the basic colors that you have. I've got playing with some pink, obviously, but bone is a staple in the industry, and then black as well. So I've been a big fan of the River to Sea Whopper Poppers for several years, okay? And what makes the bait kind of interesting, unique, is the prop style. But one thing you got to keep in mind is this prop right here. So you can see that this prop is actually pretty flexible. This is made out of a fairly soft rubber. And what can happen over time is with heat, being on the deck of the boat, in a tackle box, or even fish, after you catch a lot of fish on here, the action of these lures can get messed up, because you want it to make that it's the pop in the water. And what I've noticed, and what's really interesting about the Berkley Chapo, is it has a hard plastic lip on it. Okay, this is really, really hard. So this is actually the sound this lure makes in the water sounds really awesome. And I just feel that the Berkley Chapo is going to not have the issues potentially with the running of the bait if it gets left on the deck of the boat or if you catch a bunch of fish. So that's kind of an interesting idea when it comes to the prop, is having that hard prop at the back of the lure. Now what's really, really interesting is I keep forgetting the name of this Googan Squad one. But anyway, if you'll notice, the prop is in the center of the body. Okay, now why is that? Dylan and I were thinking about this last year, and it's actually a pretty interesting idea. So I got to give a big shout out to Googan Squad for this one. But think about the way this lure attracts a fish, right? This prop is spinning in the water, creating wake, right? So this sound that this bait is making is what the fish is keying in on. So by having the prop in the center of the body, we feel that the fish is more prone to focus on the middle of the body than the tail of the body, right? Because with the Berkley and the River to Sea, you've got the prop at the back. The fish is keying in on the back of the bait. However, with the Googan Squad one, this actually is, the fish is focusing on the center of the bait, right? So, Dylan's been using these for a while. He gave me this one to try out. It actually works pretty well. I mean, regardless, there's a lot of good manufacturers of prop style baits, but you guys have got to start throwing them. I know there's a couple people that have seen me catch multiple fish on these over the years and like, I haven't caught a fish yet. But I have a dedicated rod and reel just for these prop baits, and guys, bass love them. Big bass love them. I've thrown this thing in the middle of the afternoon on a hot sunny day, 95 degrees. And just sometimes you get lucky, it's something different. A lot of people aren't throwing them, I don't think, in some of these areas, in some of these conditions. But you guys have definitely got to incorporate prop style baits. Big shout out to Dylan Grubb from Extreme Outdoorsman too, because he's really helped me take my prop style bait fishing to the next level, because I just would cast the bait out and just start retrieving it, right? Nice, good, constant retrieve. It's got that up in the water. But he actually taught me how to fish the bait. Okay, so now what I do, a lot of times you'll see in my videos, I know it may be kind of hard to see because of the angles, but I'll cast out, let the bait hit, I'll let the wake dissipate, and then I'll just move the rod tip a little bit, make it go flip, and I'll change that cadence in the water. Sometimes I'll do a 2-pop or just one and barely move it. And I think that a lot of times those fish are looking at it and trying to figure it out. And while they're looking at it, if you pull it away from them and stop, it might cause a reaction bite. So last year was a really big learning year for me. I already had a ton of confidence in these prop style baits before Dylan from Extreme Outdoors and said, hey Jay, try to actually fish that lure or work that lure around that cover. So we throw it around grass, we'll throw it around rock piles. Alex likes to throw it around docks, flipping it up around docks and everything. So just, you guys really need to start to incorporate these prop style baits. They work extremely well. If you're fishing rivers, smaller bodies of water, maybe just can on these smaller, either 90 or 75 sizes, right? These baits work really, really well for those river systems and maybe those smaller bodies of water. But don't be afraid to throw the big 130s. Like I said, these draw some big bites. I've caught a couple 4 or 5 pounders. I mean, you might not be able to see the teeth marks that well on here, but guys, these things get absolutely destroyed. I mean, the teeth marks on some of these baits I have. I mean, look at the hook rash on this one. I just throw these baits a lot. So like I said, I have a dedicated rod and reel just for these prop style baits. So hopefully you guys enjoyed just kind of a little bit of a insight on how I throw these prop style baits, my setup, where I throw them, the colors they use. But guys, you really have to start using these baits. You're not going to be disappointed, I promise. So hope you guys enjoyed this content. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you guys want me to talk more about whopper poppers, or not whopper poppers, but just prop style baits in general. But then again, I cannot thank you guys enough for your support. And remember, the easiest way to change your attitude is by showing gratitude. Thanks, and we'll catch you in the water next time.